Good afternoon, happy Savage Saturday, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and today, guys, we're doing something special. It's been 1,000 or more subscribers since I've done the Savage Slabs, so we're going to show them off again and just get them out there for everyone to see. The oldest subscribers, the new subscribers, and just to see what's in the PC. So we got, I think we hit 50 on the Savage Slab count, so I haven't got a Savage Slab in a bit, but you know, we'll fix that. But this is just for fun. Anything that I have slabbed, Savage-wise, I have either 2 or 3 copies, others to read, or I have facsimiles or reprints. In the case of my Conan one, I had the Conan Classic reprints a couple times, which are just amazing. But everything that I have slabbed, I have in another version that I can read. I wouldn't slab something that I can't read, because then I don't see the point in it. I'm a reader first. But I do love slabs too. I do love the showcase value of them. But let's start out. We'll start out with the 3 biggest ones and put them up. So of course, you know, one of my goals growing up as a young Conan reader was to always have Conan #1. And as a child, I didn't have it. It took me until my 40s to get it. But here we are. We have Conan the Barbarian #1, just a 6.0, a little mid-grade copy. But beautiful. I love it, and this was like a huge accomplishment for me, just getting this Conan #1, and it was just blew me away. I just couldn't believe I had this book. And I know by comic book standards it's not considered a really high value book, but for me it was the most important book that I had ever picked up. It just, Conan as a character has meant that much to me. The Howard stories, the Roy Thomas stories that led me to the Howard stories, the John Buscema art, the Barry Windsor Smith art, the Gil Kane art, all those artists that were working on it back then just did amazing things, and they brought me and transported me to a world that I love to spend time in, that I could get lost in. All right, next up we have another just great series, and this is the Savage Sword of Conan, issue #1. Now we got this in a 9.8, and this copy of the book you see inside here, I only paid $20 for. From someone locally here. They knew I was going for a 9.8. They had about 10, 11 copies of it, and they were nice. They didn't have to sell me one for 20, but they did, and they sent it away to get graded, and it did come back in 9.8. So really happy with this copy, not because it's Savage Sword 1 in a 9.8. That's obvious and goes without saying, but also the way I came across it through a friend, through someone that I had met here in our local community, and I ended up getting this slab through him. I mean, I sent it away. He slabbed it. He sent it with his books because he has an account there. But he's also a friend. I did a little house tour, saw all of his collection, which was amazing. But he knew he was giving me a deal, and it came back. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, we'll read it to you. Roy Thomas stories, Boris Vallejo cover, John Buscema, Neil Adams, and Esteban Morato art. Black Mark series by Gil Kane begins. Red Sonja story, King Cole article by Glenn Lord. All right, so all the contents inside. So there she is, in a 9.8, Savage Sword of Conan, issue 1. Now, just a beauty. Let's keep moving along. Now, this next one has a great story, too. Conan the Barbarian, starring in Savage Tales, issue 1 in a 9.4. I'm going to read to you what's in the blue, and then I'm going to tell you the story of this slab. All right, so it says Lee, Thomas, and Conway stories. John Buscema cover, Windsor Smith, Romita, Morrow, Colin, and Buscema art. Second Conan comic title, Robert E. Howard adaptation, origin, and first appearance of Man-Thing and a Khazar story. Now this is most expensive because this is the first appearance of Man-Thing. But this is a title, an issue of this title, and I had 2 through 11 in the annual. This is an issue I thought I would never own, and it just outpriced itself to me. And then Matt Woods, a great person in our community and someone that I had become friends with through Conan and over Conan. So, you know, a lot of thanks to Conan over the years for putting me in contact with really good people. But Matt Woods had a few copies of this. he brought this up, already slabbed in the 9-4. Him and our friend Joe Travato from Anachronic Comics came up to where I live in Rochester, New York, and they surprised me with this and many, many other things on a birthday. And it was just, to this day, it'll be one of the, till I die, it'll be one of the most memorable birthdays I've ever had. It was just amazing. Not just this because of this book, but because of the two friends I got to meet, the friendships I had forged with them over the years since I had met them on YouTube. And there's one thing I've noticed, that making some friends on YouTube, when you meet them in person, it's like friends you've always had. They are your real friends, and it's just been an amazing journey meeting people that continue to be mainstays in my life, and it's just absolutely incredible. All right, so next up, we're going to start with, keep going with some classic Conan. So we have Conan the Barbarian, issue 4, in a 5/5. Now this one, oh good, the plastic was doing what I would hoped it would do and stave off a bit of the glare so you can see the cover better. Just a great cover. Of course, Barry Windsor Smith cover, Roy Thomas story, and Barry Windsor Smith and Sal Buscema art on the inside. And just, I love this cover. It's Conan, a woman in distress, and a giant spider. It's a classic formula. It can't be beat. It's absolutely amazing. And just a beautiful, beautiful slab. Beautiful art by Barry Windsor Smith. And I got this dirt cheap. I think I paid $50 for this at the time I got it. So, super happy. I don't mind. It's a 5/5. Doesn't bother me in the least. Next up, this is the first Conan book that I ever slabbed. For a couple reasons. One, it has art that breaks the border, and it has a border cover. I am a sucker for the old border covers from the 70s. I absolutely love them. So this is Conan the Barbarian, issue 16. It's called Night of the Frost Giants, but it's an adaptation of the Frost Giant's daughter. And just a brilliant cover again by Barry Windsor Smith. And you got the one giant breaking the border, which is just awesome. I don't know why it tickles me so much to see the art break the border on these old covers, but it does. It's just a cool gimmick. And just a beautiful cover. This is the first one. This is the first slab I ever got too. The first slab, first Conan slab. This marks a lot of things for me. This is when I took the dip and took the jump, the leap of faith, so to speak. But again, this is 772. So from 1972, I'll take that in a 7/5 all day. Such a gorgeous cover. Next up. Sorry for the delay. Next up, we have Conan the Barbarian, issue 23 in a 6/0. And if you can't tell, I am a mid-grade collector. They're affordable, plus you still have the key. You still have the important issues to you, and you haven't had to go just erroneously out of pocket to get them. So this says Roy Thomas story, Gil Kane cover, Barry Windsor Smith, Sal Buscema art on the inside, Dan Adkins and Chick Stone art. First appearance of Red Sonja, adapted from the Robert E. Howard story. So there you go. So this issue is her first appearance. And a lot of people say the next one is, but that's just her first cover appearance. She is all the way through this story. Great story. Awesome cover. And again, just this is Gil Kane cover, who did so many Conan covers back in the day. He was really important to the launch of Conan and doesn't get enough credit for the work he did on the title. But again, brilliant cover. First appearance of Red Sonja in a 6/0. Super happy to have it. And then, of course, because it's one of my favorite covers in comic book history, along with the first three I showed you, and I have it back here, but the Barry Windsor Smith cover, The Song of Red Sonja, issue number 24. Just absolutely gorgeous. One of the finest pieces of work in all of comic history, in my opinion. So much detail in this cover, so much going on. My favorite armor suit from Red Sonja, just everything about this is amazing. Again, in a 6/0, mid-grade collector. Roy Thomas story, Barry Windsor Smith cover and art. First full appearance of Red Sonja, last Barry Windsor Smith issue. Now, that's a bit of a misnomer, first full appearance of Red Sonja. That was last issue. She was completely throughout that issue, in full conversations, in action, in conversations with Conan. She was almost in that issue as much as Conan, so just weird stuff sometimes the way they perceive it. Next up, Conan the Barbarian, issue number 59. Now, I do have to get 58 slabbed, because that's the first appearance of Belit, who is one of my all-time favorite Conan characters. This next issue had her origin, cover by John Buscema and John Romita Sr., art on the inside by John Buscema and Steve Glenn, and story by Roy Thomas, of course, and just a beautiful cover. Gotta have some John Buscema in the mix. The man who put Conan on his shoulders and carried him for so many years, with dynamic art and storytelling through his panels. Just absolutely gorgeous. Belit, one of the fiercest characters in the Conan pantheon of characters that are canon from the original Robert E. Howard stories. Just absolutely amazing. Never before revealed. Song of the She Pirate. The awesome origin of Belit. So just awesome. I still got to get 58 slab. That'll happen. Now, one of my all-time favorite issues in comic book history. I absolutely love this issue. I must have 12 or 13 copies of it. This is my only graded copy. This is Conan the Barbarian, issue 100, covered in art by John Buscema and Ernie Chan, my favorite art duo on Conan the Barbarian. Now, Roberto De La Torre is now up there level with John Buscema. His work's just too amazing not to be. I don't know how Jim Zub found him. Incredible. It doesn't matter. He's there. He's doing the good work for the Sumerian. Story by Roy Thomas. Story adapted from Queen of the Black Coast by Robert E. Howard. Death of Belit. Verified signature of Roy Thomas. And we got a 9-0. And just a gorgeous book. And this cover has a cool little history to it that I'll probably go into at some point. Now's not the time for it, though. But a great cover. One of my favorite stories in the original Robert E. Howard stories. A story that showcases so many different sides of Conan, but always his will to survive being among the top of his traits. And but this shows Conan's heart. It shows his courage. It shows him to be a good companion to those he travels with. It shows a lot of the strengths that make this an enduring and lasting character. Somewhat 90 years later, one of the oldest pulp characters going, older than Superman even, by 6 years. All right, next up, this is Conan the Barbarian, issue 137, in a 9.4. Cover art by John Buscema, art inside by Alfredo Alcala, and story by Bruce Jones. And I am a huge Bruce Jones fan. I liked what he did with the Conan run too. Of course, this was after Thomas. Thomas stopped at issue 115 before he came back at the very end. But this is signed by Bruce Jones. And this is a favorite slab of mine too. Not only because this is one of my favorite Conan covers, but this also came from a friend, Rob Fat Stacks of Comics, who sent this to me raw as a gift. I, of course, got it pressed, cleaned, and sent out for grading. Super happy with the 9.4 on it. This was just hanging out in a bin, unappreciated. Rob knew who would appreciate it, picked it up, and sent it over. So thank you very much, Rob. A fantastic and wonderful book. Next up, we have another gift from Rob Fat Stacks. And this says cover and art by John Buscema, story by Bruce Jones, and again, a verified signature by Bruce Jones. And he had sent this with me with the other Bruce Jones book. Rob had found them. They had a cheap price on them for signed books. He sent them to me raw again. I sent them out, got them graded. This one's an 8.5, and just a beautiful book. Look at the blues pop on that cover. Everything about this cover is just a beautiful, masterful piece of work by John Buscema. Great story by Bruce Jones, and just awesome. Absolutely amazing. Take a quick little water break here and get on with the next slab. Now that concludes the ones for the original series. So then we had Conan the Adventurer come out. Alright, and this is an issue 1. And I sent this out expecting like an 8.5. It came back a 9.8. Got the verified Roy Thomas signature over here. And so another Roy Thomas signed book. Raphael Kayanen cover. Great cover. Really pops. Really catches your attention. And it says cover and art by Raphael Kayanen. Story by Roy Thomas. Embossed red foil cover. So just a great issue. This 14 issue run was actually not not a great run. It was severely lacking in a lot of ways, but it had its moments. But ultimately disappointing. Next up, a run that is a lot of people's favorite run, not mine, but a lot of people's, and arguably so. This is issue number 1, and this is another gift. This came to me raw, signed, and I sent it out to get slabbed. This is from Cali Comics, and this is 9.4. Cover by Joseph Michael Linsner, art by Carrie Nord and Tom Yeats, story by Kurt Busiek, and signed by Kurt Busiek. So there we go. Just a gorgeous cover there. Of course, Joseph Michael Linsner, one of the best in the game, and just a consistently working artist who's always everywhere, especially where sword and sorcery and beautiful women are involved. But great cover, great gift from Cali Comics. Thank you so much, sir. Just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, next up, another gift from Rob Fat Stacks of Comics. Yep, all right, I got the sticker in the right place to cover up the goods. But this is Wonder Woman Conan, issue number 1. And this is a Gail Simone story, Aaron LaPresse the art. And this is a sketch cover by Lance on Rogue. And he sketched it on 12/31, signed and sketched by Lance Rogue on 12/31/17. CGC signature series. And here you go. What a gorgeous cover. So just a beautiful cover. Now, do you think we'll get flagged if we show the full thing? Let's take a chance. We'll take her out of here, give you guys a look at the full piece of art. And here you go. So Conan Wonder Woman issue 1. Just gorgeous art on the cover. So, and that was a good read. Gail Simone did a great job with that series. And there's a lot of things that Gail Simone writes that I love. Her Red Sonja wasn't among those, though. But overall, great writer. I really liked her work on Domino and Hot Shots. I thought was spectacular. But let's see. Let's get that put away. We'll move on to our next slab. Next up. This is a twofer. Excuse me. We have a 9.6 CGC Conan the Barbarian. Jason Aaron's story. Mahmoud Asrar art on the interior. Conan the Barbarian, issue 276. Arnold Schwarzenegger photo cover. So there we go. This one does have the Newton rings on it, unfortunately. But fortunately, we have one without Newton rings on it. And this was the CBCS one. And same information on it. So got 2 of those. Had to have them in the PC. So super happy to have it. 9.6 and a 9.4. No luck with a 9.8 on those. And it's okay. Next up. Conan Il Barbaro. Another book with a great story to it. This one's in a 9.8. Cover and art by Mahmoud Asrar. Story by Jason Aaron. Verified signature of Mahmoud Asrar. And this is a gift from not only Mahmoud himself, but also from my friend Torsen, the Varangian Vigilante, who was having a meal with him and mentioned my channel, what a big Conan fan I was. Mahmoud pulled this out, this Conan Il Barbaro, and right there, to Gary B, Mahmoud Asrar. So how cool, how generous of Mahmoud, how generous of my friend Torsen. And here we have it, preserved forever, the kindness of those 2 gentlemen to me. Just another issue I'm just always going to treasure. Just amazing. Now, next up, speaking of Mahmoud Asrar, we have the artist sketch variant of Conan the Barbarian number 1. So here we go. And just a beautiful sketch variant. Super happy to add this. I think I got this for 50 bucks already graded. So it was a deal for me. Couldn't pass it up. Especially a 9.8. One of my favorite new Conan artists out there. And just amazing. Alright, next up. Let's see where at. Oh, I think we have some more Conan here. We do. Had to see which pile I put them in. So this is another great cover. This cover is by Geraldo Zaffino. Mahmoud Asrar art on the inside. Jason Aaron's story. Another Conan the Barbarian number 1 from the relaunch over at Marvel in 2019. This is a Comic Mint exclusive, and there you have it. Absolutely gorgeous. I did have 2 of these. I did gift one to my friend Matt Woods for his birthday because he is also a Conan collector and he deserves great things. Matt is one of the best people you'll ever meet and just a great friend. So I was super happy to be able to share this art and this cover with Matt Woods. So here we go. We got the certificate of authenticity on the back, and just a great slab, beautiful slab. And let's see. Now we have another fantastic artist. Ooh, this one I'm going to put a new bag on this one. It's got a tear on it, and this is Conan the Barbarian #1. And this is, of course, the Lucio Perillo cover. So we went all in on the Marvel Conan covers when they came out. And what a gorgeous cover this is. I think I have a second one of these. We might come across it. So there we go. Beautiful Lucio Perillo cover. Just amazing. We'll put it back in this one for now. But I didn't want to show it with the tear of the plastic. Luckily, it didn't affect the book at all. Alright, so next up, we have Conan the Barbarian, #1 again. And this is the Esad Rivet cover. So again, we are all in. A beautiful battle cover. I love when they have the battle covers with him or Red Sonja or any Savage character, Xena the Warrior Princess, whatever it happens to be. Battle covers are my favorite. They're in character. They're fighting. Their life is at stake. The odds are against them. And it's them versus the immediate threat before them. Just great stuff. All right, next up, we have King Conan, issue #1. Another favorite series of mine. King Conan is a very underrated series. This first cover here is amazing. And got it in a 9/2. Story by Roy Thomas. Cover and art by John Buscema and Ernie Chan. Again, my favorite artistic duo in Conan. And just a great, brilliant cover. Conan, Tathemon on the cover. About to do battle. And just an amazing 55-issue run series. Okay, we're going to take something a bit different here. And I love my Conan homage covers. And this is one of them. And I think the only Lady Death book I own, but it's a beauty. So Conan the Barbarian, #1 cover homage, vintage cover. So they made it look vintage. You'll see in a second. Stephen Butler cover. Brilliant work by Stephen Butler. And this is Lady Death Sworn, issue 1. Manufactured with 85 of 650 printed on the cover. And Death the Barbarian Damaged Edition. So you got the 85 of 650 down here. And just a beautiful cover by Stephen Butler. This, of course, is from Coffin Comics. So just a great homage. So well done. So respectfully done. All right. Coffin Comics. But this is one that definitely had to get added to the PC. It was done too well to not add it. And it's just gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. All right. We'll keep moving on. Next, we're going to move into some Red Sonja slabs. So we are now into Red Sonja. Now, I just recently got another near mint copy of this. I'm going to send it in to get graded. Try to get a higher grade. I think I can get a 9.6 out of the copy I just got. But this one's a 9.4, so not too shabby there. And this is, of course, Roy Thomas and Clara Noto's story, Frank Thorne cover and art, based on Robert E. Howard's Red Sonja. So there you go. Now, based on, it was Red Sonja in this iteration is pretty much a Roy Thomas creation, based on the Red Sonja Rogatine story and the Dark Agnes and de Chastillon. Okay, he combined those two characters to create this version of Red Sonja that is in the Hyborian Age. The original Red Sonja Rogatine is not, but no less a great character. So beautiful cover by Frank Thorne. If you have Red Sonja in your collection, you have to have some Frank Thorne. It just, now all these original Marvel runs I own. They're fantastic. I absolutely love them. Next up, one with a story. So this is Red Sonja #2 from Dynamite Comics. Mirka Andolfo and Luca Blangino story, Giuseppe Cafaro art, and Tony Fleek's cover. So this is a present from my good friend out of the Panel Comics, Dan Can over there, and his daughter Zoe. So they were kind enough to pick this up and give this to me, and I forgot. I think it was either a birthday or Christmas thing, but it was a gift from them nonetheless. So a book that's also close to my heart, and just a fun little variant cover. But thank you, Dan and Zoe. Again, two people that have become important in my life. People I've met since I got into comics and that are local to me, and just extraordinary people. All right, next up, we have the Comic Tom 101 exclusive in Mill Geek Virgin cover. Cover by Davi Go. Interior art by Jonathan Lau. Story by Dan Abnett. And this is Red Sonja, The Superpowers, issue 1. And this is just a great cover. All right, she's bloody. She's been fighting. I love the splash background. Love that she is a warrior on this cover and has just survived the battle. And it looks like she's about to put one more foe to rest. So great cover there. And of course, Comic Tom 101 Mill Geek exclusive Virgin variant cover. So beautiful cover. Next up, another beauty, Red Sonja, Volume 5, number 1 from 2019. Mark Russell story, who wrote a beautiful 24 issues of Red Sonja. He did a great job. Mirko Kolak art and Jamie Tyndall cover. Version exclusive. This is a 7/8/9 edition. And this is just a stunning work of beauty by Jamie Tyndall. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? It's just 9/6, beautiful book. Love the colors he uses. Love the stance of Red Sonja. Ready to go, ready to fight. And just looking absolutely stunning. Just a great rendition by this artist, Jamie Tyndall. So beautiful. And again, 7/8/9 exclusive cover. This one, I was so happy to add to the collection. I love the moon in the background. Love the creatures flying. Just the whole Hyborian Age behind her is nice. Just great detail done on this cover with a great color palette from Jamie Tyndall. Amazing. All right, next up, we have another exclusive. This is a Lucio Perillo cover. Michael Avon Omeg and Mike Carey story. Mel Ruby art. On the inside, Lucio Perillo cover. And Perillo Virgin variant. And this is Indiegogo exclusive. And this, of course, contains a reprint behind it. But there we go. What a gorgeous cover by Lucio Perillo. Sonja after the battlefield, about to clean her sword with all the dead people below her. And her battle's done. Time to clean, go get some food, maybe throw back a few meads, and enjoy herself. But great cover. Sonja after battle, and absolutely gorgeous. All the heads stacked around her. All right, next up, another Virgin exclusive. This is Jim Billette, Red Sonja Special Edition number 1 from Dynamite Comics in 2020. And this is an homage to a Marvel feature cover. So just a beautiful Jim Billette cover. And if you guys know him, Jim Billette just loves drawing the ladies, and he draws women spectacularly well. But beautiful cover. All right, next up, again, another great artist, and this is Red Sonja Special Edition number 1. Again, the same one we just looked at, except this is a Hildebrand cover. So there you go. Absolutely gorgeous. Kind of a Star Wars homage cover there, but absolutely beautiful, and just a stunning cover. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? The blues pop, Red Sonja's colors pop, and nothing but gorgeousness there. All right, so next up, we have some signed books. This is Red Sonja, The Price of Blood, and this is signed by Art Soydam, and this is covered by Arthur Soydam. Art in the interior is by Walter Giovanni, and stories by Luke Lieberman. But there we go, Red Sonja, The Price of Blood, with just a stunningly gorgeous painted cover by Arthur Soydam. Just beautiful. Okay, this one I got from Rhino's Comics. So just a gorgeous cover. And then I sent it out, of course, to get it graded. Next up, we have cover signed by Roy Thomas. Again, this one is another gift from Matt Woods and Joe from Erotic Comics. They went to a special dinner where they paid to meet Roy Thomas, talk to him, and they got this book. Cover is by Mel Ruby. Art inside is by Carlos Gomez. A story by Amy Chu. And this is the Dynamite 2017 Mel Ruby Retailer Incentive. So here's that beautiful sketch cover signed by Roy Thomas, and just a gorgeous, gorgeous slab. And again, another gift from some great people. They sent it to me raw. I sent it out to get it graded. Came back in 9.4. Super happy with that. Just a gorgeous book. So from Matt Woods and Joe Travato, who had Roy Thomas sign it and then brought it to me. Amazing. Book has seen some miles and it's gorgeous. Next up, we have Red Sonja Vacant Shell. And this is Michael Kaluta cover, art by Paul Renaud, and story by Rick Remender, and a verified signature of Rick Remender. So gorgeous right there. And I believe this book also is a present from an AOK from Rob Fat Stacks of Comics, this one and the next one. So gorgeous book there. And 126 of 200 on the cover. So limited signing, an event, and a cool Michael Kaluta cover. And this next cover is story by Rick Remender, cover and art by Paul Renaud, and this one is just gorgeous. This is Red Sonja Vacant Shell, 36 of 200. And again, I believe I got this one also from Rob Fat Stacks of Comics, who sent me this raw, and I sent it out to get graded. Got a 9.6 on it, and what a gorgeous cover. The colors pop. Red Sonja's in battle. Everything about it's just amazing. Beautiful, beautiful book. All right, next we have, we're getting down there, guys. We're almost done. Red Sonja, the BAM Box exclusive, a Joseph Michael Lisner cover. Interior art by Carlos Gomez, story by Amy Chu, and verified signature of Amy Chu. Now, beautiful cover. I was hoping it would be Joseph Michael Lisner's signature. It is not. I still have to get his signature on a book at some point. But what a gorgeous cover. Look at that. Amazing. Great colors again. On another battlefield. The dead are laying at her feet. What more could you want in a Red Sonja cover? Then we're into, let's save those a second. We're going to go with these two. Now we have Iron Jaw issue 1 and an 8.5. I still have to get Wolf the Barbarian graded from this company. But what a gorgeous cover there. And this is Michael Fleischer's story, who wrote a lot of Conan after Thomas. Mike Zakowski and Jack Abel art, and Neil Adams cover. First appearance of Iron Jaw. So that is kind of a misnomer because it's not the first appearance of Iron Jaw. So CGC got it wrong. It's okay. They get a lot wrong. All right, but cool variant cover there. I mean, cool cover for Neil Adams. And just a book that a lot of people didn't know was his, right? The cover art. So next up, and Iron Jaw, Origin of Andrak's backup story. And this is the only issue. Gary Friedrich and Peter Weichman's story. Pablo Marcos and Jordi Benar art. Rich Buckler cover. And there we have the Barbarians issue 1 with Iron Jaw just storming the cover. Now, I thought this was the first appearance of Iron Jaw, and I don't want to say necessarily that they're wrong. I think it was this one. I could be wrong, though. I'll have to look. Let me see. This came out $6.75. And, all right, yeah. All right, $1.75. The CGC was right. I was wrong. So let's put it down in the books. This came out after. This was my introduction to him. For some reason, my brain wanted to remember this as his first appearance, but still, gorgeous book. And this was my first Atlas Seaboard book ever, and I bought it slab from Rhino's Comics. All right, next up, we have Savage Avengers, issue 1. Gary Dugan's story, Mike Diodato cover and art. And this is a series from start to finish is one of the best series ever, in my opinion. It is a great piece of work done by Gary Dugan in writing, and the ending is so fitting. It's so well thought out, and it doesn't do the obvious thing with Conan, which lesser writers do. I'm not going to say one thing one way or the other, but Gary Dugan understands this character. Gary Dugan wrote Conan so well in this series, and the ending, it couldn't have been more perfect. Like, he just nailed it. It's not often you see a series get an ending where you're completely satisfied. This is one of those series. Great job by Gary Dugan. So next up, another Savage Avengers. This is the David Finch cover. Another gorgeous piece of work there. All right, so Mike Deodato Jr., David Finch. You can't go wrong with either of those artists. They're absolutely fantastic. All right. We only got a couple left, guys. We're almost there. Thank you for sticking with me. All right, this cover is by Lionel Francis Yu. And again, another Savage Avengers cover. And another great piece of art. Again, I was all in on this series when it came out. Was so happy to have it. I was a little concerned that you're bringing Conan into the modern world, but it worked out brilliantly with Gary Dugan at the helm. Next up, another gift from Mr. Matt Woods when he just came to visit me randomly one time. Gary Dugan's story, Savage Sword of Conan issue 4, Ron Garney art on the inside, Alex Ross cover, and Savage Sword of Conan Legacy issue 239. And this is just an homage to all the classic covers behind you. And look at that Alex Ross right there. How amazing is his Conan? That is just beautiful beyond words. A gorgeous cover. And just a great gift from a great friend again. Savage Sword issue number 4. All right. Last 4 slabs, guys, and then we'll call it. So one of my favorite series from back in the day that nobody really knows about. When they hear Starfire, they think of one character. When I hear Starfire, I think of this character from 1976. David McElhaney's story, Mike Vosberg and Robert Smith art, Ernie Chan and Vince Coletta cover. So Ernie Chan, one of my favorite artists, did this cover. It's gorgeous. Starfire issue number 1. Mike Vosberg, who's one of my unsung heroes in art. I love his stuff. His work on Savage She-Hulk was absolutely amazing. His work on Starfire is also amazing. But great cover. Only an 8-issue series. And if you're a Savage fan at all, you owe it to yourself to get this. You can pick this series up rather cheaply. And here we go. We have the final issue in the series with a Mike Vosberg and Vince Coletta cover. Tom DeFalco story. Of course, we got a good giant spider on the cover. This is in a 9/2. And just a great series. This is one I read probably at least every year, at least once. It's a great series. I absolutely love it. It was just during the DC implosion, and it didn't survive it like so many others. All right, our last 2 slabs. This is What If, issue number 23, and it's what if the Hulk had become a barbarian. Got a 9/0, and just a beautiful cover. Now we have Peter Gill's story, Herb Trimpe and Mike Esposito art, John Buscema and Al Milgrom cover. So just another great John Buscema in the collection, and just look how beautiful that is. What a great cover. Fun story too. And then last but not least, we have a David Finch cover, and this is Meredith Finch story. Vicente Cifuentes art on the inside, and this is a sketch cover. Xena Warrior Princess from Dynamite Comics, and just a gorgeous cover there. Nothing wrong with it, just absolutely stunning to look at, just beautiful. David Finch is just great. But that's it, guys. That's the Savage Slab edition for episode 170 of Savage Saturday Review. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You can catch me and oftentimes Varangian Vigilante Torsen here on this channel doing some fun Savage Saturday stuff. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. And until next time, keep it casual.